Mike Zano.
Scott Bossman.
What's up, buddy?
Not much, just enjoying the pre-holiday week, I guess you might
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Been a busy holiday week here as well in preparation for family get-togethers this weekend and opening of gifts and whatnot.
Yeah,
Celebration.
it's so it's I don't know, do you think this is a slower time of year in land and because of the world, not the world, sorry, that's a little exaggerated, but the, vast population of the United States celebrating holidays and so on and so forth. How do
I
you
think
feel
that's a
about that?
I think that's a good topic tonight. Let's get back to that after we greet everyone. I like that topic. Um, I think we may have some new viewers, so we should probably tell them
Yeah,
who we are and what the heck we're doing.
Yeah, get in on the show early because we're about to blow this up in 2022. So,
Uh-huh.
you can say we knew them way back when.
That's right. Exactly. I mean, we're TikTok faux famous.
We're
Uh,
famous.
we're getting hundreds of views on YouTube. It's crazy.
You know what? If you want to meet us in person, I just realized you were sharing with me today. I didn't realize it was up on our site. The the live boot camp sites have been announced, and I love San Antonio.
Yeah, we're going back to San Antonio. I didn't even know
We're
that till
going
today
we're going
or
back.
yesterday.
Do you think it's at the same hotel? The really like uh, old sort of one that reeks of business where the guy from Southwest started
Southwest
his business
Airlines.
plan. Is that where we're going?
I don't know if we're going back to that hotel or not. The name of it's on the tip of my tongue,
Well, you know
but
yeah, it's got a distinguished name. It's like the Albert or something. It's what is it? It's but then we've been
uh,
into San Antonio where we went on the resort. Remember? Like,
yeah, yeah, the resort way out of town. That was fun. So
yeah. Now is that where your wife was there and Leah and Summer? Was that the resort?
I don't know, but I remember that's where I met Mike Zano for the first time was in San Antonio.
Oh,
That's why I get a pitter pattering in my heart when hear San Antonio.
oh, it's like nostalgia.
Yes, nostalgia. So, but yes, uh, live boot camp in San Antonio in August, and then in October we're going to Atlanta.
I know. I've only been to Atlanta once, and it was 30 years ago.
Okay,
So, have you ever been there?
I've been to Atlanta a couple times. Yeah, yeah. So
So, anyway, if you want to see us in person, that's your opportunity. And it's not just
lucky
for us.
you.
We shouldn't be so vain. It's because you'll get to meet our incredible community. We have a community unlike any others out there. Uh, you get to see Mark and Scott and Tate and Eric and Taria. You know, it's just amazing. And then all the other land geeks that, their lives have been dramatically impacted and changed forever by land investing, and it's motivating. So I encourage you as 2022 approaches to take some time and think about setting a goal to come to one of those events. It'd be well worth it.
It was a life-changing weekend for me. I know it was for you as well. And
Yes.
how many weekends in your life can you say are life-changing? I mean, 10 to 20, like you can roll off a
Yeah.
few on the top of your head, right? This is up
Right,
there.
right, right. You're true. And this is definitely one. This is where, for me, it was like the light bulb went off. I mean, I knew land investing was real. Jeff, my buddy who had introduced me to Mark, he was already doing it, but I didn't know if I could do it. But I'll tell you, meeting Mark, and it just changed everything. It was so awesome. So yeah, life changing. That's a great way. But I guess if you've made it this far, we're now 6 minutes in. We're the Land Geek guys. We come on here once a week. We talk about land investing. We have a drink or two or ten, and and you know it's all about the land investing, and we have some fun as well. But we know that there's people up there. Right now it's like 12 past 6 on the West Coast. It's 12 past 9 on the East Coast. 12 past 8 with you, our Bossman, and we could go on and on. But anyway, sit back, relax, ask some questions, just
Have a
watch us.
have a cocktail, have a soda water, and ask us some questions about land investing. A lot of people, Mike, there's just been an influx of people in the Facebook group this week, which is really exciting to see. Uh, Membership is
Yeah.
going up, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's too many people in this group." Uh,
No, more
oh, what's gonna
opportunity,
happen to all my land if we accept all the people in this group, right?
more people to buy land out from because we had a call today. We do a working lunch for those of you who are with us in the toolkit, and I believe some flight school people have access to that as well. And someone was talking about how they wanted to buy their first property, and there was another land investor, because Scott Todd always tells people, hey, you can offer any land investor might be willing to sell at wholesale, which means it's, maybe half of what it's worth, but it's a quick sale to them, and they may have bought it for a lot less than that. But you could do land arb. You could pay them a small monthly payment, typically half of what it's worth on the open market, and then you can go out and sell it and make the spread. I think that might technically mean what the whole arbitrage means, right? It's like the spread or something like that. I think that's what they refer to. I don't know if you're more of a, in terms of
Don't
the
ask
word
me.
Scrabble and math and English, geometry, all that stuff.
Uh,
That's more Bossman's alley.
well, I think what you're getting at though is the more people in this community, the more opportunity there is, not only to collaborate with one another, network with one another, make connections, because the people you meet in this group, you can make money with them.
Yeah.
Uh, but I mean, really, the land market is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. I mean, there are millions and millions and millions of vacant land parcels. There are a couple thousand land investors, right?
Yeah.
Um,
We're not going to saturate it. We can't. It's
yeah,
impossible.
we're not going to saturate it. So, welcome to our community. Come on in, learn about how this can be the best passive income model, which
Yes.
which I'm convinced it is. Um, and I loved Mark's. For those of you listening who are maybe new, Mark has had a few podcasts to date now. His first podcast, or maybe it was his second podcast actually, was called The Best Passive Income Model. And he would have all these people come on the show and he would
Debate
interview
him.
them about their business. He even had Grant Cardone on once, didn't he?
He did.
He
He
had
did.
Grant Cardone on once. And Mark would interview these people about their businesses, about how they make money, and then Mark would challenge every single person at the end of the call. I want you to tell me why. Or Mark would explain the business and he would say, I want you to tell me another passive income model that's better than land investing.
Right.
And what, 99 out of 100 of them couldn't come up with a better one.
I, I, I can remember there's been so many times that he would go on a podcast and then you or I would get a call from someone who's podcasting. Hey, I'd like to learn how you guys do what you do. Can you help me out? And you want to go flight school or something. That's how convincing Mark is. And I say convincing and it sounds like he's trying to convince, but the reality, it's just he's just transparent, and it's quite evident if you pay attention to what we do. That's like, whoa, that's pretty unique. Low dollar investments. I have to put a lot of capital out to get a great return. I can do a lot of these deals. I get my money back quick. Low barrier to entry. Um, it just quickly, piles up that wow, this is a great opportunity.
Yes, it's a phenomenal opportunity. Low barrier to entry for time, low barrier to entry for the amount of capital needed to get started. And now a lot of proof that this works. We have a ton of proof. Mike, when I started in 2015, there was a little bit of proof. Uh, for whatever reason, Mark struck a chord with me, and I felt like a connection with him, and he just seemed authentic. So I think for me, there was a lot of trust going into it because there wasn't a lot of, he didn't have a ton of testimonials on the site at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, 6 years later, like we can name person after person after person after person after
So
person. It's
if that's the
crazy.
case, what do you think the common reasons people would, that are, I don't want to say skeptical, but they see the business, but they're like, I'm not sure. Let me hedge my bet and, rather than dive all in, because I believe if you understood the power of this, right, you would be like, okay, let's just get rolling. What's the quickest way to get rolling? But what would you say are some common reasons where people they start to sense the power of this, but yet they're still apprehensive? And
Well,
could you say anything to help them with that?
maybe we should ask our viewers.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
that's a great one.
I think we can talk about it, but I guess for anybody out there watching, um, maybe you've seen example after example after example of people doing this, replacing their income, retiring their spouse. Like Matt Forbes, his goal was to send his kids to private school. He was able to do that with all of his kids within just 3 years. To quit your job like I did, Mike Zano, you could. You don't want to, but you could, right? Um,
Correct.
so for those people out there watching, what do you think are some of the barriers that might prevent people from getting into this?
Yeah, talk to us. Talk to
Talk
us.
to us. And while you're coming up with those, we'll come back to it. We do have a few people chiming in.
Yeah,
John Zeke's here. Geeky.
what's up,
John
John?
Geeky.
Faithful viewer.
He is a faithful viewer. It's nice
John,
to
I
see
hope to
him.
see you in San Antonio or in Atlanta or both.
Excuse me, I think San Antonio. Mark McWiggins is here. Mark, nice to see you. It's been a
Mark,
while.
how you doing, bud?
We got Frankie Leah's here. Frankie, it's been a
Frankie.
while.
Yeah,
What's up?
Frankie's doing deals. Great
Frankie's
guy.
doing deals. Uh, Mark McWiggins is doing deals. John Jeeky's about to do deals. Larry Merle's here. That guy's
What's up,
killing it.
Larry?
He had a
Yep.
killer November and December, which is fun. Um, so a lot of people on this call doing deals. Ben B is here. Ben, nice to see you. I think Ben's in flight school right now. There's a couple Ben B's though, so I get confused. Um, Brian LaGrange is here. Joel Malfavon is here. Joel's doing deals.
What's up, Joe? What's up, Brian?
Julius,
Hey,
May,
Julius.
nice to see you guys. Um,
This still reminds me of what we were talking about today. Does anybody out there on this call know what romper room is? And do you remember? I see Scott. I see Ben. I see Mark. And I'd be waiting for her to say, because she had a little mirror or something. I forget. I wanted her to say, I see Mike. And we said the modern version of that is the Peloton. Because you get on there and you're like, I want to be recognized.
I
Have you been
honestly,
recognized on Peloton?
I don't remember that. No, I have not been recognized on Peloton.
Well, first you'd have to take the live classes on Peloton, which I don't.
Well, do you mean that, do you get a shout
A
out?
shout out.
Yeah, I've gotten a shout out.
Was it your birthday? 100th ride? What was it?
I think it was like a monumental ride, like a 100th ride or a birthday ride.
My
I've
100th
gotten
ride was very
three,
quiet. Just me alone on a Just Ride app. Man,
I think I've gotten three shout outs now, which is pretty exciting. So
you got to video those.
I can go back and watch it. So I'll send you a little clip.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Um, so we got people chiming in here. We have a couple questions.
Let's
Let's
hear
see
it.
if anybody answered our question. Anybody answering our questions? Dan Nelson. Dan Nelson's here. What's up, Dan? Uh,
Dan, what's happening?
he says that fear can be the only obstacle. Fear is huge. We talk to people all the time.
Yeah.
They're no matter what it is, whether you're starting a new job, you're taking on a new task in life, you're coming across a new investment opportunity, you're going to a new workout class, you're like for a lot of people, there's a little bit of apprehension, a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety to try something new.
No, I always thought you were the one who turned me on to Ryan Holiday. Is that not true?
Uh-uh. That's
Because
not
I
true.
asked this on a call recently because he's got a book, The Obstacle is the Way. So if
I haven't
fear
read
is the
that.
obstacle, yeah, it's a great book. Basically, but anyway, if fear is the obstacle, then that's the way. Like you have to dig into what you're fearful of. Yeah. So it's a great point Dan's making. But I what is it, that they're afraid of? Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen, right? I think people think they're going to get stuck with a piece of land. They're going to buy a piece of land and that's it. I'm stuck with it.
Hmm.
What they don't realize is we always buy land typically 25, 30 cents on the dollar. So the likelihood, it's like you buying anything out there, any asset that you know that somebody would purchase, and you're going to buy it for a third of what it's worth or a quarter of what it's worth. I think it's safe to say you won't get stuck with that. At the very least, you could probably double your money and get out of that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a definite fear. Any other fears that come to your mind that people may have? I'm going to get stuck with a property. That's a fear people say. What other fear would what might they have, Scott?
Well, I'm going to
See
lose
there.
money.
You're going to lose money. Okay. By buying a property and not getting it out, or, because here's the thing. How much money do you really need to start this business?
Right.
The only thing you need to do is mail, right? And let's round it up. We know we get a great rate of under 70 cents, right? But let's call it a dollar. So a dollar a letter, 100 a week. So you spend $100 a week on mailers. Uh, so that's pretty much your whole cost. Now you could dial it down, $50 a week. I think you need to be consistent. Whatever number it is, you need to stick to. But we talked about you don't even now, Scott. If I uncover a property, I mail. Say I had only enough money to mail, and I uncover a property that I could buy for $2,000, and I see that it's worth 6 to 8 thousand. Am I in trouble because I have no money? Am I going to lose that deal? Do I have any
Uh,
options?
Sorry. So once again, you came across
I mailed
one.
out for a property. I only
Yeah.
had enough of the mailing. Now I come back. A guy wants me to buy his property for $2,000, but I don't have $2,000, and it's
Oh,
worth $6 to 8 thousand. Am I up? You know what's creek? Am I out of the deal, or is there another
no.
way? Can I still make money?
Yeah, there's another way. The other way is this community, and again, reaching out to fellow land geeks. Uh, there are multiple options with that, right? Like you could you could line up a wholesale buyer.
Hmm.
You know, I'll buy wholesale land. I bought a lot of wholesale land last year. I bought some from you, Mike Zano.
True.
So if you know Scott Bossman buys wholesale land, give him a call and
I
say,
love when you
Scott,
talk about yourself in the third person. That is so awesome. Do some more of that.
say Scott Bossman,
This
I have a
guy.
lead.
This
I have a
guy.
lead on some property. Are you interested? Right?
Yeah.
Um, so you can line up a wholesale buyer.
You don't
You
need
can
money.
find what's that?
You don't need money.
You don't need money. You don't need money. You can essentially do. We won't get into the mechanics of it here, but you can essentially do. That's beyond the scope of nightcap when we're drinking and have to explain things like uh, thoroughly. But you can essentially line up a wholesale buyer and not have any money come out of your account, and you don't need money. You can find somebody to fund your deal. There's tons of people in our group who will fund your deal. They'll buy it outright, and you guys will do a split on the profit.
Right. You know
You
what's
have
better than
family
money?
and friends. Listen, you know what? A lot of people say don't go to family for loans or whatever, right? But listen, if I were to go to my dad and say, Dad, I have the opportunity to buy this property for $2,000
Right.
and look at the property across the street. Now, here's a listing online, and here are all these properties in this area. They're selling for $8,000 to $10,000. Uh, I don't have $2,000 right now, but do you want to maybe kick in a little bit and I'll give you a huge return on your money,
Right.
right? I mean, there's all sorts of. Mark Podolsky said to me earlier on, I say this all the time, Mike, because I had a very scarcity mindset regarding money. He's like, Scott, there's so much money out there.
Yeah.
You just need to find it.
You know what's better than money?
What?
Grit.
Grit. Grit.
Other
Wait,
way.
grit.
Turg? Turg? Yeah, grit's
That's
better
funny.
than money
All right.
because if you have determination and perseverance and you have grit, the money will appear. You can find the money in this community. So the more people that join the community, I think the better.
Here's one other thing I'd say. Um, you and I have a very fortunate opportunity to talk to a lot of people in this business. I will say that every once in a while we will talk to people, Mike, and they're like, I've invested $10,000, $15,000 in this business, and I don't have one property.
Hmm.
Well, why is that? Well, tell me where you spent your money. Well, I've sent out thousands of mailers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how many did you send on your first mailer? 5,000
Oof.
on my first mailer.
Yeah.
These are,
Not good.
and I will just say that sometimes, or maybe typically, the people that we're talking on the phone, have you gotten any training into how to do this? Well, no, I've been I've been scouring
Bootstrapping it.
podcasts and what's that? Bootstrapping it.
Bootstrapping.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
your risk for failure is higher if you bootstrap it,
Yeah.
right?
There's a time cost too. Let's not forget, we all have a time, an hourly rate, an internal hourly rate.
Hmm.
So, you know, learning something on your own doesn't is great, but it can cost a lot in your time, which is money. And so sometimes it's better to sort of shortcut that and skip to the chase and get the actual skip the chase, I should say, and get right to the meat of the matter and learn how to do what we do or do whatever it is you want to learn.
Right. All right. I have to
Questions.
answer. I have to break away for 1 second. We have a good conversation going on. We have more people chiming in about
Uh-oh. Fear?
reasons why they might be a little bit hesitant to get into the land business. Okay.
All right.
But Mo has a question. And Mo, he is a little bit skeptical that this is live. He's wondering if this is maybe pre-recorded because no one's answering his questions. So we need to answer Mo's question.
Well, that's because we just talk too much. Sorry.
We talk too much, Mo, and you have to remember we've had maybe a couple. Uh, so
Perhaps. Perhaps.
so Mo has a couple questions, Mike. I'm going to go
All
back,
right. Well, what up? Let's hear it.
and here we go. Where's the first one? Here it is. Is getting passive income? Wait, that's not the first one. I don't think. Here's the first one. Wait, here we go. Do you think purchasing empty, multiple acres of land for passive income is a good idea? Oh, well, I think we've gotten to that, Mo. And we'll get more into it. Here's another one. Is getting passive income from wind turbines a good idea? What is the best thing you can do with your land that will generate passive income? So,
Oh, great
so
question.
Mo, maybe you're new to Land Geek.